Hi, Jacob.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, you need to get a better aspect of you on that. Yeah, that's better. Yeah,
Okay.
what you want to do is try to get a little bit of space above your head, and that's about it. Okay?
Is that good or?
Right where you are now is perfect.
All right, then this will be the spot.
Hi, Kayla. She's muted. There she goes. Okay. Hi, Kayla.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
So we're going to be on Facebook Live. I just worked it. I feel like a millennial because this all came together in the last 5 minutes. But it's great, and they're going to sponsor us too, which is cool.
That's awesome.
Let me let Ben in. Hi, Ben. He's still on mute. Get yourself in on audio there, Ben. Are you in? There you go.
Yep, I'm here. I'm here. Hey.
Hi, Ben.
How's it going?
Good. All right, here comes Simon. And Caitlin's coming too. Hi, Simon. You still no audio yet. You got to get your audio on.
How's that?
There you go. Now you're
All
good.
right.
Hi, Caitlin.
Slowly getting the hang of it.
All right. Are you outside smoking a cigarette?
About to.
Simon. What are we going to do about you?
Good.
Caitlin,
the jury's still out.
Yeah. Can you close the curtains behind you that you have a lot of backlight?
Yeah, it's not going to do too much, but I can close them.
Thanks. So you all know that we are going to be on Facebook Live as well on the Onondaga County Public Library live stream. We just set that up 10 minutes ago. It's been a wild day. I went from not knowing to knowing in about 20 minutes. So I am quite millennial now. I've shaved 40 years off my age, Simon.
Well, good, mate. If you can send me the recipe, I'd like to do the same.
It means doing things at the last minute, because I know that's what my kids do.
Yeah,
They wait until there's 5 minutes to go, then they call me and say they have an emergency.
Oh, I feel that pain.
Yeah. All right, so we should have Christian Zabriskie coming in soon. He will be doing his piece. He's the executive director of the Onondaga County Public Library, and he will be number 2 on our hit parade. Everybody has their, Bob Reed. Oh, okay, we're gonna let Bob Reed in. I'm gonna mute him.
I want to get that device somehow for my children as well.
Wait, Zoom?
No, the mute device. I've got a few clients I'd like to use that on.
I don't know what's going on with Bob. Anyway, I think basically we're doing what we did yesterday. Bob, you still have to undo. Audio, Bob. He hasn't done it yet. Okay,
Hello,
Bob, can you hear us?
Hi, Simon.
Oh, he lost his video. Okay. All right, that's all right. Bob is going to be an audience member, so we don't have to worry too much about Bob.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Bob, but I can't see you now.
Okay, so I got to do this. Start
You got
the
to do
video.
video first and then audio usually. There, now you should be on both.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you see
There
me?
you are.
Yeah, I can see you too, but I'm gonna, during the show, I'm gonna mute you, Bob,
Okay.
okay? But you can chat. There's chat is up now, and everybody should be able to chat if they want to. And basically, we're doing the same thing we did yesterday, only better. Trying to make sure that the video and the audio are solid and that you look solid in the screen. Again, you know, it's up to you because you're in control of your own piece, but I prefer, if you can, that you do something like you see me right now, sort of a third of the screen is my head, about. And that gives people a more engaging way to interact with the program. And on Facebook Live, that's very important too, because you can lose people really quickly if you're not doing something that they consider exciting. So at the end, I'll be losing tons of people. I know that, because reading from that book is not the most exciting thing in the world. Next time, we'll try to eliminate that and have more scenes. So all of you are invited to come back for the next show. Right now, we're just going to do Thursdays at 2. I bought the Pro program last night, which makes it possible to do the live stream. You can't do it without it. And so we'll be doing it every Thursday at 2 o'clock. So I'll send out an email to everybody who's a volunteer on the list and ask them to tell me what kind of piece they want to do. It's got to be scripted. It can't be, you know, just you're talking about anything. I have a couple of people who've asked, well, I've done research on this and I want to talk about that. That's fine, but then you have to send me the script. I need to see what you're going to say, because everything's got to be timed out. I guess I could put something like that at the end, like I did with the reading, but yeah, I prefer if we know in advance about how long everything's going to take. It makes it look a lot more professional.
Ronnie, you heard from Sam?
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about, actually.
Right.
Yes, I heard from Sam, and he wants to do an Othello scene with you, and that's fine.
Yeah.
For next time, that's fine. I'm good
Yep.
with it. But he also wants to do something, research that he's done on, I don't know exactly what it is, he didn't say. And that's fine also, but it's got to be written out. And, you know, we're at the point of negotiating that. There won't be much negotiation because it has to be written out. So that's it for that. Our lineup is still the same, so I'll start off with a welcome. I'm probably going to introduce you with me off camera and with the puppet. Okay, I have 1, so you're not surprised by this. 2, 3.
I haven't seen the third one yet. I'm looking at Caitlin, and I'm sure she's not your puppet.
She's not.
Oh, there he is.
She's a very independent lady.
You betcha.
And 4, which is a little funny one. Actually, I got this from Dustin Zarni, believe it or not. And his head comes off. So it's sort of headless Shakespeare. I'll try to get a good, image for that. So you may be introduced by that rather than having my head there, which doesn't make much of a difference. A question for the actors is, would you like to start off? Sam Clements, yes, we'll let him in. He's a professor at SU, just so you know who he is. And he may be a future reader. He's on the list. Hi, Sam. How you doing? You got to enable your audio.
Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you. Welcome to the show. We'll be starting in about 5 minutes, and I'll be muting you, Sam, during the show. Okay?
Yes.
But you can chat. if you'd like, along the side. I don't know who 13473391433 is, but I'm going to admit them and we'll find out. Somebody on their phone. That's all I can see is a phone symbol. So what does everybody think about singing Happy Birthday to Shakespeare to start off? Actors, you want to do that?
Yeah, why not?
Sure.
That means all of us would have to do it. You want to do it?
Sure.
Okay, let's practice. Here he is. So how I'd like to open the show. Hello?
Hi, it's Christian here.
Hi, Christian. How you doing? I don't see
Good, how
you.
are you?
Don't see you.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
All right.
Yeah, let me try a different way of getting back in, okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Thanks.
I'm not going to let Ann in yet, so we can do this. Okay, so one practice, because we only have 4 minutes until we start. Happy birthday for Shakespeare. So the show will start. I won't say anything. The puppet will. I got to get out of here. Let me see if I can do this. Such a wide shot. So just have Willie up there like that, and then we'll start. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Best of that. Happy
Birthday
to you. Oh boy.
Happy
Happy
birthday, dear
birthday
William
to Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
Happy birthday
birthday
to
to
you.
you.
That's fine. That's fine. Doesn't
That's
matter whether it's together or
Really hard with the lag.
not. It
Yeah.
is. It is.
Yeah, it is.
This is why Bob Reed and I and Peter Allen and Steve Orlando cannot practice our instruments on Zoom because of that latency or lag.
Yeah.
So, but for this, that's fine. We will give it a shot. And I think that's it. Let me let Ann in, and we have 2 minutes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes till we start. So get ready for your happy birthdays. Hi, Ann. Oh, we're waiting for audio for Ann. Galaxy S9. I guess that's Christian. I guess.
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Ann. How you doing? I'm going to be muting you, Ann.
All right.
All right?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, who is Galaxy S9? Is that Christian? You're in, but you have no audio, which is okay. Unless it's Christian. We have 1 minute.
Oh, Galaxy S9 is my mom.
It's your mom. Okay, that's fine. Hello, Mom. All right, we're going to sing happy birthday to Shakespeare in one. When it goes to 2 o'clock.
My clock is chiming 2 o'clock.
Here it is. Happy
birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, William Shakespeare.
Shakespeare.
Happy birthday to you.
That was a rousing rendition of Happy Birthday, if I ever heard one. Hi, I'm Ronnie Bell, and welcome to the premiere show of OCPL Presents Shakespeare Unstaged, We will be doing a number of readings from Shakespeare and about Shakespeare. But first, I get a couple of minutes to tell you about what's going on with the Syracuse Shakespeare Festival coming up. Of course, I don't have what I need when I need it. Okay, so here we go. We have always we release our new season, which this year it's the 18th season, on Shakespeare's birthday. So we have 4 great shows coming up, and the first one is Love's Labor's Lost, and that's at the beautiful Thornton Park Amphitheater from June 5th through 14th. They are already in rehearsal, virtual rehearsals, just like this actually, and it's going to be a great show. Shakespeare's most mannered and Elizabethan comedy with witty debates, dazzling wordplay, and strongly drawn comic characters, presented on the grass with the audience intimately involved with the action, but socially distanced. So let's remember that if we wind up doing it on the grass. Next, we have Much Ado About Nothing, which is our main stage show, and that's August 7th through the 16th. Also at Thornton Park Amphitheater. And no Shakespearean lovers enjoy quarreling more than Beatrice and Benedict. As we said when we last produced the show 10 years ago, love is a battlefield. Also epitomized by Hero and Claudio. One of the Bard's liveliest comedies presented on the main stage with an exclusive kids area for kids 10 and under, accompanied by their parents. Our next show up, not a summer show, but a December show, is from the 11th to the 13th, and it's a revival of our Scrooge Meets Shakespeare's Ghosts, which is a musical based on A Christmas Carol. And we've written lyrics to various Christmas carols that fit the characters that are in the show. And it's a lot of fun. It's backed by audience demand, believe it or not, it's true. And the first 2 performances will be at the Cantor Warehouse. That will be the 11th and 12th of December, and that's $20. This is a fundraiser for the SSITP fund, trying to get us a house, and or a theater. And the next one is at Beer Belly Deli, and that will be dinner theater. So for $40, you get your ticket to the show, you get dinner at Beer Belly Deli, and 1 free drink. So that's a lot of fun. And the last one is A Man for All Seasons, and that's April 16th to the 25th in 2021. So a year from now, hopefully we'll be COVID-free by then. And A Man for All Seasons is by Robert Bolt. It will be at the Community Black Box Theater. The play and the movie won the Tony Award for Best Play and the Oscar for Best Picture in '62 and '67. It focuses on the moral dilemma, oh boy, of Sir Thomas More in 16th century England when he refuses to pressure the Pope to annul King Henry VIII's marriage. So that's it. That's our lineup. We have 4 people waiting to get into the Zoom meeting, and I'm going to see who they are. But meanwhile, let me introduce our first act, and that is Simon Moody and Caitlin Friedberg, and they're going to be bringing you Act 1, Scene 7 from the Scottish play. I won't make that mistake again. Okay, so here they go. Simon Moody and Caitlin Friedberg, Act 1, Scene 7 of the Scottish play. Take it away.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this bank and shoal of time, would jump the life to come. In these cases, we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which being taught return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. Pity, like a naked newborn babe, striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim, horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now, what news?
He's almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have brought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would not be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so pale, green and pale, at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeared to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it's smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we should fail.
We fail, but screw your courage to the sticking place, and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his 2 chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince the memory, the warder of the brain shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbic only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood these sleepy 2 of his own chamber, and used their very daggers that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs in clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
Thank you very much. Nice job. And this is for everybody to know, both participants and audience, that when an actor or a group of actors finish a piece, instead of clapping, which would be hard on this, just finger snaps, okay? Like they do at poetry slams. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's go on. Very nice, Simon and Caitlin, we appreciate that. And we're going to move on to Christian. Are you there? Let me see if Christian is there. I don't hear him yet. So we're going to move on to Kayla Ross, who is going to do Act 2, Scene 2 from Romeo and Juliet. And she's doing a piece of the balcony scene. And Kayla, take it away.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush paint my cheek. For that which thou hast heard me speak tonight, fain would I dwell on form, fain deny. What have I spoke but farewell compliment? Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say ay. And I will take thy word, yet if thou swearest, thou mayest prove false at lovers' perjuries. And they say, Jove laughs, O gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully, Or if thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay. So thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayest think my behavior light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but thou overheardest ere I was aware. My true love's passion, therefore pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light's love, which the dark night hath so discovered.
Here we go. You got it very well. Okay. Training the audience and the actors at the same time. Isn't it wonderful? Okay, so thank you, Kayla. Let's move on. My friend William, another William, is going to introduce this one. Next, we have Ben Hayes doing Sonnet 39.
Oh, how thy worth with manners may I sing, when thou art all the better part of me. What can mine own praise to mine own self bring? And what is't but mine own when I praise thee? Even for this, let us divided live, and our dear love lose name of single one, that by the separation I may give, that due to thee which thou deservest alone. Oh, absence! What a torment wouldst thou prove, were it not thy sour leisure that gave sweet leave to entertain the time with thoughts of love, which time and thought so sweetly doth deceive, and that thou teachest how to make one twain, by praising him here who doth hence remain. Thank you.
Thank you, Ben. And now we're going to move on to Jacob is next, doing Act 2, Scene 1 from the Scottish play, The Dagger Speech. So take it away, Jacob.
Go. Bid thy mistress, when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat-oppressed brain? I see thee yet, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshalst me the way that I was going, and such an instrument was I to use. Mine eyes are made the fools of the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade indulging gouts of blood which were not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now, o'er the one half world, nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtained sleep. Witchcraft celebrates pale Hecate's offerings, and withered murder, alarmed by his sentinel the wolf, whose howls his watch. With his stealthy pace, with Tarquin's ravishing strides towards his design moves, like a ghost. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not which way my steps walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. Ding! I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Do we have Christian on the audio?
I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can't see you, but can you tell us about the Onondaga County Public Library for a little while?
I absolutely can. And I'm so excited about this partnership. I really, really appreciate this. I apologize. I'm having a raft of technical issues today, but I'm glad that I can finally speak to you folks. We are thrilled to be partnering with Shakespeare-In-The-Park, Syracuse Shakespeare-In-The-Park, for the Bard Off the Boards series. This is a really, really great partnership for us to get the humor, history, tragedy, and romance of Shakespeare live and in your home, even when you can't go out the door. So the Onondaga County Public Library, we are your public libraries in the city of Syracuse, and then we are the consortia that includes all of the suburban libraries within the county of Onondaga County. We have 33 libraries ready to serve you today. Right now, they're all closed, but they will reopen. Between now and then, we have a wealth of resources for you available for free on our website. You can even sign up for a library card right off of our website. And thank you for joining us. And a huge shout out to Ronnie Bell and Kara Luddy and everybody who's been working so hard to make this event happen for us. So thank you to everyone, and thank you for having me.
Thank you, Christian. Yes, definitely a shout out to OCPL for hosting this. Yes, let's get those finger snaps going for him so he can hear it. And to Kara Luddy for getting us hooked up to Facebook Live, which was great. And we have a couple of more things to do. And the next one, I think, is me. So we'll have Shakespeare introduce me. Hold on, we're going to get a new Shakespeare. Here he is. We're doing a sonnet. Sonnet number 23, which is an unperfect actor on the stage. And boy, did I like writing that one. As an unperfect actor on the stage, who with his fear is put beside his part, or some fierce thing replete with too much rage, whose strength, abundance, weakens his own heart. So I, for fear of trust, forget to say the perfect ceremony of love's rite, which in mine own love's strength seemed to decay, or charged with burden of mine own love's might. Oh, let my books be then the eloquence and dumb presagers of her speaking breast, that pleads for love and looks for recompense, more than that tongue, that more hath more expressed. Oh, learn to read what silent love hath writ. To hear with eyes belongs to love's fine wit. Thank you for the snaps. And now, how we doing? Oh, we got about 11 minutes left in our show. So we're going to have 11 minutes of reading about a book written by James Shapiro. It's called Shakespeare in a Divided America. It's a really fabulous book. He's a wonderful Shakespearean scholar. Probably the two preeminent ones are James Shapiro and Stephen Greenblatt. And both of them have written great books very recently. But this one in particular is very relevant to our times. He goes from time period to time period, starting long before the Civil War, and he picks particular dates, and then he relates how Shakespeare influenced and was influenced by, because although he was dead many years by then, people interpret what he does, and they interpret it on both sides. So let me start with the introduction to Shakespeare in a Divided America by James Shapiro. Highly recommend it. Read by almost everyone at school, staged in theaters across the land, and long valued by conservatives as highly as by liberals, Shakespeare's plays remain common ground, one of the few places where Americans can meet and air their disparate views. For well over 2 centuries, Americans of all stripes, presidents, activists, writers, and soldiers have also turned to Shakespeare's works to give voice to what could not readily or otherwise be said. And he has an interesting photograph, which I can't show because it doesn't show up very well on the screen. But the opposite of this opening page is a picture of a soldier in Vietnam in the late 60s, I would say. And he has a copy of The Taming of the Shrew stuck into the back of his helmet. That's his illustration of how pervasive Shakespeare is in our society. That engagement dates back to before the Revolutionary War, when Hamlet's famous soliloquy, "To be or not to be," was appropriated both by defenders of British rule and by those seeking to overthrow it. Not long after, Shakespeare's contentious histories offered the founding fathers, all too aware of the vulnerabilities of the government they had created, a roadmap for where the young republic might be heading. Those who read these plays, quote, with a view to the treachery, perfidy, treason, murder, cruelty, sedition, and rebellions of rival and unbalanced factions, unquote. President John Adams warned these people would find one of the most instructive examples for the perusal of this country. A prescient Adams even reworked a passage from Henry V to show how a foreign despot might collude in putting a more pliable leader in the White House. And isn't that relevant nowadays? Yet, in those early years of the Republic, it seemed improbable that Americans would adopt England's national poet as their own. They had fought the British in 1776 and 1812, and they would be again at war. Moreover, the strain of Puritanism entrenched in the northern colonies was rabidly anti-theatrical. The Quaker William Penn, who founded the Pennsylvania colony, had attacked the quote-unquote infamous plays of writers like Shakespeare and helped enact laws suppressing their performance. In 1774, the First Continental Congress was still admonishing colonists to shun theaters. Of course, our administration doesn't do that today, thank goodness. Pennsylvania only ended its ban on playgoing in 1789, and Massachusetts, the last holdout, in 1793. How Shakespeare won over America in the early 19th century is something of a mystery. The absence of rivals had a good deal to do with it. So did the growing familiarity with his works. Actors from Britain toured the land with a repertory rich in Shakespeare, while school books featured his famous speeches. One of them, McGuffey's Reader, first published in 1836, sold more than 120 million copies over the next 80 years. Another, Scott's Lessons in Elocution, found its way into the humblest of American homes, including the log cabin in which Abraham Lincoln was raised. Yet there was more to it than the lack of competitors and Shakespeare's widespread availability in school books and cheap editions. The French author Alexis de Tocqueville, gathering material for his book Democracy in America, noted that he first picked up a copy of Henry V in a log cabin while touring the United States in 1831, and added that there is hardly a pioneer's hut that does not contain a few odd volumes of Shakespeare. A half-century later, the German writer Karl Norris said of America that there is certainly no land in the whole earth in which Shakespeare and the Bible are held in such high esteem. It helped that in a Bible-obsessed nation, Shakespeare's language sounded so familiar to that of the King James Version of the Bible, 1611. And that struck me when I read that I didn't realize about that parallel of the Bible that people knew at that time with the language of Shakespeare was very close, contributing to the sense that his plays were a kind of secular scripture. Yet it was more than these and those of these and thous of Elizabethan English that drew Americans to his words. Many of the issues that preoccupied Shakespeare and his contemporaries in the late 16th century, the dangers of autocratic rule, the imagined threat posed by those of different races, religions, or nationalities, the slippery boundaries of gender, were still unsettling to 19th century Americans. Shakespeare had usually framed these as conflicts, resolved through bloodshed in his histories and tragedies, and more peacefully, if provisionally, in his comedies. Social and political collisions that could be readily viewed through the prism of America's past and present. Yet, much of the mystery of why has America embraced Shakespeare remains unresolved. All one can safely say is that Shakespeare took root in the United States because he spoke to what Americans cared about, and he still does. But his plays were not interpreted by everyone in the same ways, especially as divisions deepened between the social classes, between the industrial North and the slave-holding South, between new waves of immigrants and earlier settlers, as well as between those who believed in America's manifest destiny and those wary of such imperial ambitions. I only have a couple of minutes left, so I'm going to stop there and tell you about what I've read so far in the book, which is about one of the most famous theater events in American history. It happened on May 10th of 1849. Did I get the year right, or was it 46? Simon, help me out. Do you know?
I think it's 49, Ronnie.
Okay, 49. And it was at the Astor Place Opera House, which is right down the street from where the New York City Shakespeare Festival is now, by the way. And that house was created in order to keep out, quote unquote, the riffraff from coming to the theater. And the riffraff were the working people. They didn't want the working people in. They didn't want the immigrants in. They didn't want African Americans in. They didn't want ladies of the night in. They only wanted in people who would appreciate Shakespeare. And that night, the riot came about because of two competing Shakespeare productions going on. Actually, there were three, but the two that concerned it was William Macready playing the Scottish play at the Astor Playhouse and Edwin Forrest playing it at the Bowery Theater. And that night, I think they said 8,000 people were watching the Scottish play that night. These were huge theaters, 3,000 seats in the Astor Place Theater, 2,000 or 3,000 seats at the Bowery Theater. So it was really unbelievable. And the two clashed, the groups clashed together. They threw stones through the windows of the Astor Place Playhouse. And it was 20 people died when the militia came to break up the riot. It was an unbelievably horrible time in the theater, but it showed how the classes were clashing at that time, all because of Shakespeare. So I think we're going to leave you there. Everybody want to say goodbye? Let me unmute people so they can say goodbye. And if you're on, say goodbye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
For participating. We probably have about 30 seconds left, so look for it. That's it. We're done. 2:30. Congratulations. Thank you very much. The Zoom people are still on, so we can certainly say hi to the Zoom people. But we'll be on next week again from 2 to 2:30. We'll probably have a somewhat different cast of characters. But Simon, I think, is going to be on next week, right? Doing a fellow piece. So yep, Simon will be here, and maybe a couple of the other actors, and maybe Anne will come on.
Sure.
because she's on our production board and she may come on. And we have a couple of, we have 29 potential readers. And if you would like to join us, just email me, bell444@gmail.com, and we will put you on the list, and then you can join. It should be a lot of fun. So thank you to everyone for doing this. We appreciate it. We're off Facebook Live now. So, but thank you to all the Zoom people that joined, and thank you to all the actors and to the OCPL. So have a great day. I'm going to end the meeting, and I will talk to each of you soon, either in by phone or by email. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
You too.